Good day, Ma. My name is Lovie Jil Santillan from BHM3B. So today I'm going to report the Chapter 17, the title of Special Topics. We have heard the learning objectives. First, discuss the various special laws affecting the tourism industry. Second, identify situations and problems where these special laws may be applied as a solution. Third, identify some tourism establishments that implement as well as not implement these special laws. This chapter discusses special topics and special laws that will be useful in managing and operating a tourism-related establishment. Senior Citizen Law, Republic Act No. 9257, also known as the Senior Citizen Law of 2004, was enacted to provide senior citizens the following: A grant of 20% discount on all prices of goods and services offered to the general public regardless of the amount purchased from establishment, irrespective of classification relative to the utilizations of services, for the exclusive use of the senior citizen in the following: hotels and similar lodging establishments, restaurants, and recreational centers. Laws and Security Anti-Terrorism Law, Republic Act 9372, also known as the Human Security Act of 2007, March 6, 2007, implements the policy of the state of protecting life, liberty, and property from acts of terrorism, condemning terrorism as inimical and dangerous to national security and making terrorism an act against humanity and law of nations. An act of terrorism is committed by any person who commits the following act under Revised Penal Code: piracy in general and mutiny in the high seas of Philippine waters, rebellion or insurrections, kaftiitat, murder, kidnapping, and serious illegal detention. Consumer Act of the Philippines, Republic Act 7394, April 13, 1992. The main objective of the law is to protect the interests of the consumer, promote his general welfare, and establishment standards of conduct for businesses and industry. The law has implemented measures to achieve the following: A. Protections against hazard to health and safety. B. Protections against deceptive, unfair, and unconscionable sales act and practices. Provisions of information and education to facilitate sound choice and the proper exercise of rights by the consumer. D. Provisions of adequate rights and means of redress. And E. Involvement of consumers' representatives in the formulations of social and economic policies. And then we have the cultural minorities protected areas, wildlife and heritage and cultural presentations. So Republic Act No. 8371, Indigenous Peoples Act of 1997, October 29, 1997. It is this regard that there shall be a mechanism to enforce and guarantee the realizations of these rights, taking into consideration their customs, traditions, values, beliefs, and interests and institutions, and to adopt and implement measures to protect their rights to their ancestral domains. UAI Draft Charter on the Rights of Minorities, Article 1. No individual may be subject to disadvantage of any kind because he or she is a member of a particular national, ethnic, linguistic, cultural, or religious minority, or because of his or her sexual leanings. Article 2. The lawyers' associations will take steps to encourage teaching relating to the rights of minorities in law schools and institutions for continuing educations with which they are concerned. Article 3. An individual on trial who belongs to a minority group is entitled to be tried in accordance with principles guaranteed by international law. He or she is entitled to be tried before an independent and impartial court. Law on Intellectual Property Rights. The law is enacted to streamline administrative procedures of registering patents, trademarks, and copyright, to liberalize the registrations and the transfer of technology, and to enhance the enforcement of the intellectual property rights in the Philippines. So, the law on intellectual property rights is important in ensuring that the rights of investors of machines, equipment, and gadgetry, authors of published materials, composers of musical compositions, originators of ideas, concept, models, and system, and lastly, artists of design. Anti-child abuse law. This law implements the policy of the state to provide special protections to the children from all forms of abuse, neglect, cruelty, exploitations, discriminations, and other conditions prejudicial to their development, including child labor and worst crime, and provide sanctions for their commissions. So accordingly, children below 15 years of age shall not be employed except when the child works directly under the sole responsibility of his or her parents or legal guardian, and where only members of his or her family are employed, provided that his or her employment neither endangers his or her life, safety, health, and morals, nor impairs his or her normal development. Anti-Prostitution Law, Article 202, Prostitutes. For purposes of this article, women who form or money profit habitually indulge in sexual intercourse or lascivious conduct are deemed prostitutes. Anti-Pornography Law, Article 201, Immoral Doctrines, Obscene Publications and Exhibitions and Indecent Shows. The penalty shall be imposed upon those who shall publicly expound or proclaim doctrines openly contrary to the public morals, and then the authors of obscene literature publish with their knowledge in any form, the editors publishing such literature, and the owners, operators of the establishment selling the same. Anti-hijacking law, under Republic Act No. 6235, June 19, 1971, anti-hijacking is committed by any person who compels a change in the course or destinations of an aircraft or Philippine registry, or seize or usurps the control thereof while it is in the flight. An aircraft is in flight from the moment all its external doors are closed following embarkations until any of such doors is open for disembarkations. Dangerous Drugs Law. This law implements the policy of the state to safeguard the integrity of its territory and the well-being of its citizenry, particularly the youth, from the harmful effects of dangerous drugs on their physical and mental well-being, and defend the same against acts or omissions detrimental to their development and preservations. Anti-Smoking Law. This law implements the policy of the state to pursue a policy of balancing development and environmental protections. To achieve this end, the framework for sustainable development shall pursue to the following objectives. First, formulate a holistic national program of air pollution management that shall be implemented with the government through proper delegations and effective coordinations of functions and activities. And then last, encourage cooperations and self-regulations among citizens and industry through the applications of market-based instruments. Anti-smuggling law. Any person who shall fraudulently import or bring into the Philippines or assist is so doing in any article contrary to law, or shall receive, conceal, buy, sell, or any matter facilitate the transportations, concealment, or sale of such article after importations, knowing that the same have been imported contrary law, shall be guilty of smuggling. Law on violence against women and children refers to any act or a series of acts committed by any person against a woman who is his wife, former wife, or against a woman with whom the person has or had a sexual or dating relationship. So, the act which constitute violence against women and their children include the following: physical violence, which refers to acts that include bodily or physical harm; sexual violence, which refers to an act which is sexual in nature, committed against a woman or her child. It includes, but not limited to, forcing her to watch obscene publications and indecent shows, or forcing the woman or her child to do indecent act and/or make films. National Law on Tourism. World Tourism Organizations is a specialized agency of the United Nations and the leading international organizations in the field of tourism. It serves a global forum for tourism policies, issues, and a practical source of tourism know-how. Tourism research, the growth and development of the tourism industry is imperative in the context of regional and countryside development. It generates employment, roughly 2.3 million jobs, trade, and business opportunities. So that's all for my report in chapter 17, ma'am. Thank you.